Yo, I'm Disco, and today I'll be talking about how nothing feels real anymore. And just like last time, I'll try to give 10 points in at least 10 minutes. Speaking of last time, I did not expect that video to do as well as it did. So I just want to thank everybody who subscribed, watched the video, and especially everyone who commented some tips for me. I've been reading a lot of them, and they've actually helped me figure out what I want to improve on. Now, without further ado, let's get back to the video. Have you ever just been scrolling on like TikTok or Instagram and thought to yourself, nothing feels real anymore? Because everywhere you look, something feels off. Photos don't always look real. Influencers don't always seem authentic. AI can generate voices, videos, images, and even entire people that never really existed. And nowadays, news spreads faster than anybody can verify it, and ads are disguised as normal posts. And sometimes it feels impossible to tell whether you're looking at something genuine or just another piece of content specifically designed to grab your attention. The internet has completely changed how we experience reality. So today, let's get into why people are starting to feel like everything is fake. When social media was popularized, people mostly used it to share random moments from their lives. You could post a picture of your friends, something funny that happened during your day, or literally just a picture you thought looked cool. It wasn't necessarily perfect, but that was what made it feel real. Now people take dozens of pictures before choosing one. They edit the lighting, they change the colors, they remove things from the background, and they use filters. And they post a photo that makes their life look the best. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to look good in a picture, don't get me wrong. The problem is when that's basically all you see. You don't see the person sitting in their room having a terrible day. You don't see the failed pictures. You don't see the arguments, the awkward moments, the boring days, or times when absolutely nothing interesting happened. You see the vacation, you see the birthday, you see the expensive restaurant, you see the new clothes, you see everyone having fun. And if you constantly compare your normal everyday life to someone else's best moments, your own life can start to seem boring. But you're comparing the behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel, and that is never going to be a fair comparison. AI has advanced incredibly fast. A few years ago, generating a realistic image or video with AI could be pretty obvious. Now, you gotta look twice. AI can generate essays, generate realistic images, imitate voices, create videos, and produce things that would have sounded like science fiction not that long ago. And obviously, there's a lot of good that can come from that. AI can help people create things, learn, brainstorm ideas, and do things that would have taken much longer before. But there's also a weird side effect. We're starting to lose the assumption that seeing something means it's real. A photo isn't automatically proof anymore. A voice recording might not be the person you're hearing. A video can be edited or generated. And the craziest part is technology is still improving. That means we're gonna have to become much better at questioning what we see online instead of immediately thinking, there's a video on it, so it must be true. What we have to start thinking is, where did it come from? Who posted it? Can I find another source? And honestly, that's probably going to become the most important skills people have to learn on the internet. Have you noticed that almost every creator eventually starts promoting something? One day they're making normal videos, and then suddenly they're promoting a clothing brand, then an app, then a course, then some product you've never even heard of. And again, there's nothing wrong with creators making money. If someone spends hours making videos, they deserve the opportunity to gain something from their work. But sometimes it becomes too difficult to tell where the content ends and where the advertisement begins. Someone might say, this is literally my favorite product ever, and then you find out that they're being paid to say that. Or maybe they're using an affiliate link where they make money if you buy it. That doesn't automatically mean that their recommendation is fake, but it does make you question it. And when almost every platform is filled with sponsorships, affiliate links, product placements, and people trying to sell you something, the internet can start to feel less like a place where people can share things and more like one big shopping mall. You aren't just watching a video more, you're potentially watching an advertisement disguised as a video. And after a while, you start wondering, does this person really like this? Or do they like it because they're getting paid because of it? Most people think that they're choosing what they watch. Technically, you are. You decide what app to open. You decide what video to click. You decide whether or not you want to keep scrolling. But the algorithm is constantly making decisions too. It learns as you watch, like what you skip, what you replay, what you like, what you comment on, and even what makes you stop scrolling. Then it uses that information to decide what you see next. That's why two people can open the exact same app and experience completely different versions of the internet. One person might see sports, another might see gaming, one might see politics, and the other might see memes. And another might see nothing but short form media for the next 3 hours. The weird part about it is that the internet can start feeling like a reflection of reality when it's actually a heavily filtered version of that reality. You're not seeing everything that's happening. You're seeing what the system thinks you'll keep watching. Sometimes it feels like you're exploring the internet, but really the internet is holding your hand and guiding you. And the longer you stay, the more it learns about you. Feels like nothing lasts anymore. A song becomes popular, and then 2 weeks later, everybody's tired of it. A meme blows up. A few days later, nobody remembers it. A new fashion trend appears, and then suddenly everybody moves on to something else. 1 minute, everybody online is talking about one thing, and then you wake up the next morning and it's like it never even existed. And I think that's the reason why modern culture can sometimes feel disposable. We're constantly being given something new to pay attention to, like new songs, new games, new slang, new trends, new creators, and more in this day and age, new controversies. There's always something happening. And because there's always something new, we don't always have enough time to actually appreciate what we already have. Something can become popular so quickly that we don't even know why we like it before we're already moving on. It's almost like the internet has turned culture into a conveyor belt. Something gets placed on it in front of us, we enjoy it for a little bit, then it disappears, and something else takes its place. Think about how many conversations happen through screens rather than face to face. You can text someone instantly. You can reply with an emoji. You can send a 5-second video instead of actually explaining something. And technology has made communication easier. You can talk to somebody who lives thousands of miles away, and you can communicate instantly. That is amazing, but an easier communication doesn't always mean a better connection. You can be sitting in a room with 5 other people and still somehow everybody is looking down at their phone. You can be hanging out with somebody and both of you are scrolling. Sometimes people are physically together, but mentally somewhere far, far away. And there's something strange about that. We're more connected than ever, and yet it feels like we're still disconnected. A text message can tell you what somebody said, but it doesn't actually tell you how they feel. Sometimes you need an actual conversation, no notifications, no scrolling, no camera, just two people talking. And maybe that's something we've forgotten how to appreciate. Some people may not know this, but almost every major app is competing for one thing, and that's your attention. Not your money, not your time in the traditional sense, but your attention. Because if an app can keep you looking at the screen, that's valuable. That's why you get notifications. That's why videos automatically play. That's why another video starts immediately after the one that you're watching. That's why feeds can continue forever. You cannot reach the bottom because there's always another post, another video, another comment, another notification. And it leads to you telling yourself, okay, one more. Then that one more turns into another one, then another one, and another one. And suddenly you've been scrolling for more than an hour. The strange thing is that none of this necessarily feels forced. Nobody is physically making you stay. The systems are simply designed to make staying easier. And with every app competing for your attention, at the same time, it can feel like you're constantly being pulled in different directions. Your attention has become something companies compete for, and once you realize that, the internet starts to look a little bit different. Filters can make skin look flawless. Photos can be edited. Videos can be color graded. Lighting can completely change how somebody looks. And AI can now create a perfect looking face of a person who does not even exist. The problem is that after seeing enough perfect content, normal life can start to look bleak. Real skin has imperfections. Real rooms are messy. Real pictures aren't always perfectly lit. Real people don't look amazing every second of the day, and that is completely normal. But when your feed is constantly showing you polished and edited content, you can start thinking that perfection is what you're supposed to be. Ironically, imperfections are what make things feel real, feel genuine. Humans are not perfect. We don't always make the right choices. We don't always know everything. We have our awkward moments and we have our bad days. That is a part of being human. So when you see someone online who seems like they have everything figured out, remember that you're probably only seeing a small part of their life. Everybody has problems. Everybody has things that they don't post. And everyone has moments when they don't feel as confident as they look online. Sometimes the most real thing about a person is the part that they don't show you. The internet has given more access to information than any generation before us. You can learn about almost anything in seconds. You can look up history, science, current events, different cultures, different opinions, basically anything. But there is a problem. Not everything you find is true. The same internet that gives you incredible information also gives you misinformation, rumors, edited clips, fake headlines, misleading statistics, and people confidently saying things they don't actually know. And because information spreads so quickly, people have been more skeptical. And honestly, skepticism is healthy. You should not believe everything you see. You should check sources. You should look for context. You should ask for where that information that you heard came from. But there's also a point where skepticism can go too far. If you start thinking that absolutely everything is fake, then eventually you don't trust anything. And that's not much better. The goal should not be to believe everything, but it should not be to believe nothing. The goal is to learn how to figure out what deserves your trust. This might be the biggest one. People have become content. Think about how often you see somebody filming a stranger in public on TikTok. Someone has a funny reaction, somebody falls down, somebody gets embarrassed, someone is having a bad day, and instead of helping them or simply leaving them alone, sometimes the first reaction is, wait, I need to record this. A private moment becomes a video, and that video gets posted, and that post gets views, and suddenly thousands or even millions of people are watching something that was never meant for them. And it's not just strangers. Sometimes even friendships can start to feel like content. Instead of thinking, how are you doing? Someone might think, would this make a good video? Instead of enjoying the moment, someone might immediately start recording it. And I'm not saying content creation is bad. There are incredible creators who educate, entertain, and inspire others. The problem begins when we start feeling like every moment has to become content, because we need to remember that not every memory needs to be recorded. Not every conversation needs to be posted. Not every experience needs to get likes. Some of the best moments you'll ever live will never get a single view, and that is fine. That is perfectly okay, because a memory doesn't have to become more meaningful just because other people saw it. Sometimes the most authentic moments are the ones that never make it onto the internet. So maybe everything doesn't actually feel fake. Maybe we've just become more aware of how much of what we see is filtered, edited, sponsored, generated, or shaped by algorithms. The internet has made it easier than ever to create incredible things, but it has also made it easier than ever to create illusions. And I don't think the solution is to completely avoid technology. Technology isn't automatically the problem. The important thing is learning how to use it without letting it completely control what we think is real. So I urge you to question what you see, check your sources, and remember that social media is a highlight reel, and to not compare your real life to someone's edited life. And most importantly, don't forget to actually experience things, because sometimes the best moments aren't the ones that get the most likes. They're the moments where nobody's recording, nobody's checking the comments, nobody's thinking about the algorithm. You're just there living your life. So let me know what you think. Does everything feel fake now, or are we just starting to notice what the internet has always been? Let me know in the comments. Disco out. Oh, I forgot to mention, Discord server coming soon.